Go.
Yep.
All set? Okay, we're on the air. This is the Madison Zoning Board of Adjustment. It's April, what is it tonight? 15th.
15th.
Yeah,
Tax day.
2026, yes.
Tax
So,
day.
just as we start, I just want to welcome Colleen King back. She's going to be with us, as interim for the next couple of months to help train the next person who comes in after Kate has resigned. And we appreciate Kate's work. She did an excellent job for us. And Colleen did this job before Kate and is quite competent at it as well. So we got a full team tonight, even though Colleen looks like she's new. She's not. So,
It's all a facade.
Sharon, can you lead us in the pledge?
Certainly. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We will take case 2602 first. Mark, I think you have to recuse yourself, right? Because you've already acted on this case.
Yeah, I can't be both.
Yeah, you can't be both. So we'll have a 4-member board instead of a 5-member board for this case. And let's see, who's the primary spokesperson for?
Unfortunately, me, sir.
Okay,
What's
so
your
you
name?
have the option, if you wish to wait for a 5-member board, which we really can't promise at the moment because we don't have a 5-member board available, but I
Understood.
do have to offer you.
Okay.
Yeah, the option.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, frankly, the disadvantage to you in not working with a 4-member board is the delay.
Okay, understood.
Yes, so it's your option. You wish to proceed?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, okay. All right.
we're this far now, so.
Okay, so Colleen, would you read the
Sure. It's
introductory
case
materials? Yeah.
2602, it's a variance request from Bryant Guerin. Are you Bryant?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Twin Oaks Realty Trust for the property located at 2 Ossipee Lake Road, tax map 263, lot 4, for Articles 4, Section 3 of the zoning ordinance to permit a contractor bay building to be used for plumbing and mechanical HVAC. So
Okay.
you are Bryant Guerin.
Yes.
So the notices, can you confirm they were sent properly?
Let me see which one is which.
Kate did that. I know they went out. at the
Yeah, I'm
beginning
just
back.
looking at, yeah, all of the notices. Yeah, I have 2 that were, oh, those are the town, let's see. 1, 2 is, it looks like, Mary Ann Head, D'Amato, there may be some upstairs.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Oh, wait a minute, this isn't the right,
Yes.
the D'Amato?
Those are for our
The other
application.
one. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here are the above.
Okay, let me see if they're in the other one here.
While she's checking, I can say I verified with Kate before
Here they are.
she left that we did have the notices posted properly in the newspaper
Mhm.
and the post offices, so.
Yeah,
this
they were
was-
posted,
Mhm.
the notices were posted on April 10th. Soaring Heights, Louise Berube. I have several others here
Here's the list right here.
that were sent, but I don't have the signature cards back.
Well, they don't get signature cards back, they're just sent.
Okay.
As long as you don't get a return.
As long as. if
Okay, no,
the co-
we
if
didn't
the,
get any return.
If the, yeah, if they're there and
Nope.
there's no return.
We're all set.
Yeah. Okay, so we have properly noticed this, the abutters have been noticed. Polling the board now for a potential conflict of interest. Rich, do you have any conflict?
I do not.
I do not.
No,
No.
Okay, so there's no conflict of interest on the part of the board, and as I said, Mark is not a voting member for this particular case. And that's because as chairman of the planning board, he's allowed to participate. We're allowed one member from the planning board on the zoning board of adjustment, but he can only act in a given case on either board, but not both. So that's why he's sitting this one out. Waiver request, there are no dimensional aspects to this particular variance, so it's irrelevant, right? Regional impact, does anyone think this has regional impact?
No.
Sharon?
Yeah, I know, I'm thinking.
Okay.
My only, it's not, no.
Okay. Just because it's on the town line
Right.
doesn't mean that it has regional impact. Okay, so everyone who wishes to speak in this case, I would like to swear you in. So all those who think they might like to speak and definitely know they're going to speak, would you please rise and raise your right hand, and I'll swear you in. Okay, yeah, please rise.
Both applications?
No,
or
just for this.
Just the first one, yeah. Okay, do you swear that the testimony that you give pertaining to this case will be truthful under the penalty of perjury? Okay, thank you. Okay, so at this case, are you familiar with the procedures of the zoning board?
I watched a meeting, but,
Well, basically what it boils down to is the zoning board of adjustment is the lowest court in the land use aspect of New Hampshire. And so when there's a dispute with the town of any kind, or a person thinks there's a reason to be exempted from some aspect of the zoning ordinance because of unique characteristics of the property or whatever, then they come here and we have the authority to grant exemptions from the zoning ordinance inside of a very specific framework which is granted to us by the legislature. We have 5 criteria for zoning, which we will go over tonight after we've heard your case, and then we will determine whether or not to. I can't predict the outcome in advance, but this board does have a record of being, both
Fair.
yes, on both sides, so your case will be heard again. So with that much said, why don't we proceed? You please come to the microphone for the second.
Okay.
Tell us your case briefly. We'll interact on that and we'll go
Okay.
from there.
do you want me to raise this up or?
Yes,
Just sit.
please.
You can sit down and.
No, okay, cool.
I think there's a
I feel
camera.
like
that
I'm like
catches
story
it.
time now. So. Okay, so first off, I just wanted to make sure, so I submitted the application and there is some, I don't wanna
I'm
call
sorry.
it-
Name and
You need to
Name-
state your
yes,
name.
name.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, my name's Brian Darren, and I live currently at 9 Old Mill Road, West Ospey, just around the corner from the property itself.
Mhm.
So, and I just wanted to make sure, so I did submit like a narrative, I don't know if everyone got the chance to read that.
Yes.
Okay. I apologize if you had to read it on the river cruise, it's probably not. Thanks, so.
She didn't, it was sitting on the desk
I was
until she
gonna
got
say,
back.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
I was gonna
not
say,
happening on the river cruise.
Okay, so I just wanted to start off, first off, I purchased this property, I made the offer in September and then purchased it, closed on it in October, timeframe at the end of September.
2025?
2025, yes ma'am. I moved to West Ospey in 2021. Was when I moved up here. I've been in the area in Moultonboro with my dad and whatnot after a lengthy military career, and it's unfortunately still going, so I'm trying to close that chapter. I purchased this property with the intent of taking over the family business. I've been in the plumbing mechanical field since I can remember, and finally just switching gears from my past life to this life, well not this life, but this endeavor now. So I've been looking for property throughout, Carroll County that would be sufficient for our business, and for what I believe would be more of a dire need for trades in the area, just based off my experience and then also talking with some of the other individuals. So when I saw this property come up, I originally saw the lumber mill come up, and that was well outside of my budget. And I was just reading through the listing, and I saw that there was an additional 6.8 acres that was for sale and that could be sold separately from the lumber company. So I inquired about it. my realtor, Gerard Constantino, who I used him, put a deposit pretty quickly on it, and started that process. So I'll just highlight the process and then I'll go through my points if you don't mind. So he reached out to the town, looked at the tax card. I don't know everything that realtors do with that aspect, but in my clause when I was purchasing the property, I just wanted to be able to speak with the town prior to purchasing it and making sure that what my intent was to do with the land would A, fit my needs, but also not impact or be within the guidelines of the town itself. So I did speak with the land use, the tax office, and the building inspector. So Kate, I forgot the other lady, I think Mrs. Shackford maybe was there.
It's possibly, yeah, earlier.
Okay.
Linda Shackford.
And Bob Boyd.
Yeah, I know Mr. Boyd, and then I don't know the tax office
Mike
names.
Brooks.
Yes. So I went office to office, just checking and inquiring the property, ensuring that it was commercial first off. And then I did speak with, they pulled the tax cards and one of them looked at the zoning map and said, yeah, that's in the commercial district. I furthermore looked at the master plan that was on Madison's website, where it spelled out the commercial district. I looked at the zoning map. It wasn't clearly defined on the zoning map, my piece of property. It just showed the lumber mill. So I spoke with Mr. Boyd, explained, I actually had a CAD drawing of the building that I was looking to put up, and then explained my intent. And he said the same thing. He turned around, looked at the zoning map, said, yeah, it's good in that district. And then I went on, my way, purchased the property. And that's when I started to put together the plans to present to the town. I'm not gonna lie, it's initially, I could tell that the land use office was super overwhelmed. And there was a lot of back and forth throughout the process. And some of it was on me too, because I was gone doing some Army stuff, so I was trying to make the deadlines, and then there was like a cell phone tower thing I can remember and all this stuff, so there was some other stuff taking precedence. So I worked with them on that, and finally I got on the agenda, and then I went to the planning board, and that's what has landed me here. So I just wanted to highlight the process, and it was a little bit convoluted, and there really was no clear direction, I would say. Once I got to the planning board, there was opinions, and the zoning ordinance was brought up, and that was the lay of the land. Where in the zoning ordinance, it does state the center line of Ospey Lake Road is the end of that commercial district. And one of the reasons I went and spoke with all the offices was because of the discrepancies throughout the town documents online, and I'm not pointing fingers at anyone on that. I drank way too much espresso and tried to sift through all that, so it's a little bit, that's where I found all the different discrepancies and why I seeked counsel not counsel, but guidance from the town and elected officials on the questions I had because of the property itself. And I will just go through my points if you don't mind. I will say, I did seek legal counsel, and that was, as of right now, I don't want to go that route, and I did speak with them just because of, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not going to pretend to be, but just to get some points as well, and then weigh how much money it would cost to, if I have to go that route, and then also just to see kind of where things laid in itself. So after speaking with them, and going to the planning board, they said go for a variance, and I will say there was some, at the planning board there was kind of split, but also it didn't seem like there was a clear direction because of the paperwork, except that zoning ordinance. And Mr. Olson was on the board there, and that was what was defining by him. I would say other members on the board could see where I was coming from on it, and also the issues throughout the town's paperwork and documentation, which unfortunately, I have to be the one now that found all this, and I don't want to say like I'm being made an example of, because that's not it, but it's coming at my cost and my family's cost in that realm. So I put a lot of money up to buy this in my eyes, And it was a lot of my savings from my previous into this to go build this and take the business and grow it that way. So since you guys read all this, I'm not going to like, highlight on, read through it in a whole. I will just say, I have some points here and I'll just run through them, and then if there's any, I don't know if you guys ask questions or not, but I know.
Yeah, you can summarize it. I think those
Okay.
of us who have read the case are somewhat familiar with it, so
Okay,
focus on your primary points and then,
Yep.
then let us ask you some questions.
okay, that sounds good. So, first off, I just want to start with the property tax card itself. So from what I'm told and when I spoke with the realtors, that's how they go about when they list a property, when they give you advice to how, what the different assessments are and stuff along those lines. And I've looked throughout, the area for land for quite some time, and buildings and stuff like that. So commercial property is hard to come by, in especially in Madison. I don't really know of much, if any, that is for sale or has been for sale, minus the country store and stuff like that. So I would say with the property tax card, again, that's what was presented to me at the closing. And when I brought this up with both realtors, what they went off of, obviously it's the due diligence to look at, the zoning in the town documents, which I did, and that's why I had questions, because of the discrepancies throughout the documents published on the town's website. And I understand that the tax rate in the town is one rate, but I would just state that, or say that the assessment of the property could vary if it was residential versus commercial. So it's been commercial and commercially assessed since 2006. And that obviously has fluctuated across with the lumber mill, but it has been, taxed as such at that assessed rate. And just through my research, I would think that it would sell for much less if it was just residential land on that road, and if you weren't able to do anything commercial with it. So. And with the property tax card, that was the tax card that was actually, here in the town hall, and then also online with the GIS and tax map records. I looked on there, and I spoke with a third party that does the assessing for the town as well. I forget their name. Avatar, yes. And that, when I brought it up with them, they said that at the end of the day, it's the town's responsibility to check what they're doing and how they're,
Right.
And I admittedly was like, hey, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not like trying to like burn you, so, but that was another depiction of where it was, commercial, and then all the assessments online are as such. And I don't know if that has changed since, if they've updated it, but that was brought up, so. Now let's go to the zoning map. So the zoning ordinance of 2024, I understand where it outlines the commercial district. That document, I would say, conflicts directly with the Madison Master Plan 2002 with the 2010 amendments, where it states in the master plan that the southernmost lot owned by Madison Lumber Company is the end of the commercial district. And then it also references the zoning map. And so when I first came into the town hall here, I'm not forgetting what other document it states that there will be a zoning map published with clear, concise boundaries, and it's in one of the documents from the town. That was not here. It's since been posted, I believe. And going to the zoning map is not actually it's not a true depiction of Ospey. Of Madison itself. If you look down that Madison Lumber Company property, there's no Ospey Lake Road on there, and then my property, from what I can tell, is not depicted on that map. However, it is shaded as a commercial district. So that again, there's been officials in this building that's what they're referencing, and going off of. And that's the information that they're giving the general public, which can create some confusion, obviously, if with that piece. So, and I do believe that they're going to update that based off some of the members I spoke with on the planning board, and update some of those documents because of this. Yep. So I just highlighted that. I spoke with everyone. Most of the offices in here, and I will just state, as you know, a tax-paying citizen of now, you know, I live in Ospey, but with this land, you know, I think that the general public should be able to rely on the elected officials and whoever is, you know, paid in these offices to make, you know, to help with guidance if there is, you know, questions that come about, because these meetings, in the, you know, rural towns only happen once a month, and sometimes you're lucky if you can get on the agenda, because I know it can get very busy. So it's just been a lot of confusion, I would say, from the get-go on this piece of property, and just, you know, with the town, and I understand that there's a lot of changes going on, which I think can play into it as well. So, and then now just going into the property and what I was planning on to do with it. So I live in Woonsock Village. My father-in-law lives in Soaring Heights. I'm an avid in aviation. When I saw the property come up, you know, I have the best interest for both of those communities, because, you know, one, I don't want to, you know, I wouldn't want something going up there that, you know, whether it's a meat market, or, you know, I'm just using that because it could get a little, or, you know, smelly, or chicken, you know, chicken farm or something like that. I respect both of those neighbors, and I want to, whatever I end up having to do with the land there, I want to put something there that's going to be beneficial for everyone there, and not something that's an eyesore to look at. And I also don't, you know, with what I'm looking to do there, I would be very selective on who goes in there. And I'm trying to promote the trades and build, you know, our business, but also keep it respectful, because I live there, and I don't want to have, you know, tenant issues or anything along those lines. And I primarily look to use the building for our work, but then also, you know, have a home service company that I can open up for the area here, because again, there is a lack of trades in the area, and younger individuals getting into it. I have spoke with some of the members on Soaring Heights about my project and what I was looking to do. Now, my options, from what I've gathered from going to these meetings and whatnot, is come here to try to get a variance under the different, I forget the 5 different things, but those, or go the residential route and put duplexes or something like that to try to recoup my money. That's not something I want to do, but the situation that I'm in the financial law, I would say not a loss, but where I'm at, I have to do something to get my money back out of this. I'm committed now, so it was that, or, you know, go the legal route, which I don't really have the energy to do that, and I don't have the time to do that, to be honest. So, speaking with the Soaring Heights individual, you know, some of the board there, they would, from what I'm told, they would rather have something like that's a little more regulated as far as a commercial building going there, versus me putting duplexes or building a trailer park or something like that. So, you know, that's the conversations. I know they have some butters here that would like to speak on that. And since I've purchased the property, I've been trying to be accommodating to what, you know, they want to see, but also some of the stuff that, you know, that was presented with the land itself. So, in that realm, the last thing I'll say is I did see. I think I was running today, and I believe I saw a couple members drive by as I was running up and down Ospey Lake Road. It's very commercialized on there. You know, they're on both sides throughout the towns, all the way up, you know, past our Federal Pipe has their complex, and some marinas over there. I would say there's some buildings on that road that are not, you know, most appealing to look at. I have every intent to, you know, work with the abutters, but also the community, if it goes forward, to make it something that's not an eyesore to look at, but also, you know, will be able to be beneficial to the community itself, and bring some small businesses into Madison. One of the things I brought up last time is there's not an SBA type board or community for Madison. I think that'd be awesome, because it could help in some situations like this. But yeah, I mean, I poured a lot of my life savings into this, and unfortunately, you know, Mr. Olson's had to sit through a couple of these, I believe, and I'm just trying my best to work with the town and not, you know, make it a pain on either side. So, yeah.
Okay, let me stop you there, and for the sake of the board, summarize that very succinctly. The problem that he's encountered is the wording in paragraph 3.2 of the zoning ordinance that defines the southern boundary of the commercial district as the center line of Ossipee Road. That does in fact conflict directly with the wording of the master plan from 2010, which defines the commercial district in that section of the city as encompassing the Madison Lumber Mill property, of which his property was originally a part. It conflicts with the tax card, it conflicts with the way the town has taxed these. So the issue for us as a zoning board is to sort this out. And in the event that the town has a longer term solution, which is possible, which is, for example, to change the zoning of that particular thing, that's, in one sense, that doesn't concern us. We're presented with the request for a variance, a use variance for that lot that would allow it to be be used with it. And I will also say that the adjacent lots in Ossipee permit light industry. The adjacent lot in Tamworth has no zoning on it. So if we, and it's in our authority to do that, if we choose to enforce the proposed or supposed zoning as rural residential, that it would be an island of residential in a area which is otherwise zoned for light industry or commercial use. The plumbing, HVAC, building which is in the application would be defined in our terms as either light industry or property maintenance services, neither one of which is permitted in Madison in a residential, rural residential district. If we grant the use variance, then either one of those uses is clearly permitted, so he could proceed with his. And I will also say that as far as town procedure is concerned, annoying as it is, the planning board operated correctly in being conservative in their interpretation of the conflicting evidence, and it's appropriate that it comes here for a resolution, so.
I completely understand that.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I'll open this up for board members. Do you have questions? How do you pronounce your last name again?
It's Garen.
Garen.
Garen, sir.
Yep, questions for Mr. Garen?
I was there today. So my assumption is, it's your piece of property is at the intersection of Cross Road and Ossipee Lake Road. That corner
Yes, sir.
used to be where they stored the logs. So now the property, it's all black and rotten logs.
So originally when I purchased that, we started to clear that
Yeah.
within the guidelines of the Forest Service and all the lumber regulations. So in the past, that was used for a fire break, and there various, the time I've been here, there's been different equipment that's on there for a very minimal part time, but yes. What you see now is the preparation that we were starting to do without infringing on any of the site plans or anything like that, just to get it set so we could move forward.
So you're gonna have to put a curb cut in to get access to that piece of property from one of the roads and not use the driveway for the Hancock Lumber, is that correct?
Yes, and I applied for a driveway permit that's been approved.
Okay.
And those are within the regulations of the state, and that's been, I think the DPW came and looked, I marked it out, talked to them, and then also Mr. Boyd looked at it as well.
So then my understanding is, if, big if, that property is listed as residential, rural residential, you are completely surrounded by Hancock Lumber, because it's on two sides. The other side of the road is.
He's
No.
on the other side of the road.
He's the end of
Pass those
Hancock
out.
Lumber.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
understand. I understand. What I'm saying is, he's at the corner of Cross Road.
He's across from the corner.
It's on the other side of the street.
He's on the other side of the street.
other
He's
side
on,
of the road.
he's on the Soaring Heights side of
Ossipee
Ossipee
Lake
Lake Road.
splits
Oh.
between
This
Hancock
is it.
Lumber and the.
And this is the river. And
Well,
that's-
well, then
that's
the-
the mill, right?
All right, so the map that's here is wrong. Because I was there today, and if you look at the The map, see, this is,
Can look
Here,
at that.
here, this little teeny tiny
Yeah.
one.
Want a copy, Mark?
but you
Yeah,
see,
we have a smaller one. Yeah,
Okay.
we have a small, this is the
But-
same one that's in there.
you see, this is the map that's in the plan. Here, it says proposed building, is this it?
No, that's not,
No.
oh,
No,
that
here-
has nothing
here
to
it
do
is.
with us.
That
Here
has
it
nothing
is.
to do with it.
That has
this-
nothing to do with
No.
it.
Well, but it says in there, proposed buildings. You
That
look
was
at it-
from the previous.
That's from the lumberyard.
Well, that's,
Okay, so what his point is, without crossing that out and looking at this, you
This is-
don't necessarily have any way of.
I know, this is
all right.
Ossipee Lake Road.
All right,
here.
so he's on the other
This-
side.
The other side.
Yes,
All right.
yes, okay, so I'm glad we clarified that.
Yeah,
Did one of our board members not get a copy of this map?
Oh, that would be me.
Right here.
Yeah.
I have two.
Okay.
all right,
Yeah,
well,
plenty
then,
of these.
Mark's all
then you
set.
could forget everything I said.
I handed out 2 maps.
Yes, there's two
There's a
maps. I
second
had,
one.
yeah, the
They're
other
dated
one,
different years.
right, the other one.
Does this one actually show shading? Already does.
Yeah, so what, the first one is the town tax map. Now, the history of this gets complicated. So Colleen might be able to explain this a little bit better. She went back and looked at all the tax maps. In 2001, the tax maps were not split, okay? The property was owned by originally International Paper, was sold to the Madison Lumber Mill sometime in 2003. And so that property was listed until, when was the tax map split, Colleen?
I think, well, one of them was in 2001, and then the second one was 2004.
Right.
But
But in 2004, we have this arrangement where we see the property split off,
yes,
and we have the tax map split so that we actually have tax map 2063 and 2062. And so one of the problems we have with the zoning ordinance is that the lot that is listed in the zoning ordinance as the western boundary does not exist. It simply doesn't exist, and there's 2 western boundaries and no eastern boundary. And in addition to which, it also says the center line of Ossipee Lake Road is the southern boundary of that, which is new information that isn't consistent with anything the town did before or since. Now, we have to act according with the most recent activity we have, which is the definition of the south boundary being the center of Ossipee Lake Road, which is the source of all the problems. But it is important for us, I think, to understand that in this case, the entire property was originally handled, taxed, and has consistently been taxed, including what has now been divided lot, was always taxed and assessed as commercial. So the request is for us to grant him a use variance because of the wording of the existing zoning ordinance. That's
Yeah.
clear, right?
Crystal.
Anybody need any other information? Okay, well then I suggest,
If you go to the current, if you go
Yes.
online to the current
Yeah.
tax map, that's what you get right now.
that's part of our,
That's part of
Yeah,
the
you
issue.
get this.
Yeah, but you can't see the shading on there. This is.
oh, I see,
This
this
is
is
color.
on the current tax map.
Yeah. Yeah, so this one has the lumber mill shaded commercial, but Brian's lot across the street
Is not.
is not.
No,
But if you do click into that assessment, and this is another reason why I came down here, if you click on the assessment, that's when it goes into the commercial, it lists everything out as commercial. So that's why, again, one of the main reasons I came down, because
yeah, the issue is it's conflicting information. The
Right.
town has said 2 things, both of them. So like you say, map
But-
263,
Out of the master plan 2011 would be this map that I printed that would be omitting that sliver.
I haven't seen that map, and I also, I don't know if, I thought you recused yourself from this.
I can
Well,
speak.
He can speak.
I can't
I was
vote.
curious
He can't
because-
vote.
Yes,
yeah, I was
he
gonna
can-
say-
He can't
speak.
vote,
I just
but he
can't
can
vote.
speak as the planning board.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the reality is that, that map was what, 2000?
This is
11.
2011 out of the master plan as you find it online.
Right, although the map that we're using for the public is dated 2000. It's not updated, and when you look at it, it shows, I'm just simply saying that we have conflicting information.
We have, yes,
Yeah.
well, and that, I mean, that would exist as ordinances change, too.
Right, yeah. Okay, so, let me summarize some of those findings of fact. We'll capture these, and I want to do this while we're still, there's two pieces of this. There's a public hearing, which we're in now, which members of the public are allowed to speak. Actually, what we haven't done is allow anyone else besides you.
Speak.
Would anyone else like to speak to this? Is there anyone here? Yes.
Yeah.
Come up, state your name, and speak into the microphone and say what you'd like.
Hi, I'm Donna Kupka, and I live at 116 Pequawket Trail, but I own the property directly behind Bryant's property in Soaring Heights.
That is in Ossipee.
In Ospey, yes,
Yes.
in West Ospey, so I own the property right behind him. And I just wanted to make it known that I do support Bryant in the commercial, and for his commercial building. I find it very sad that he's having to go through all of this, because, you know, it was always deemed or thought as being deemed commercial. With that being said, as being an abutter of the property, the only thing that that I ask for in consideration for the variance that's happening is for a barrier fence between the properties. I have no more, I had all kinds of scrub oak that shielded us from the road and everything like that. I couldn't see the road from my property before. And now it's wide open. So if you did a drive-by, you can see my garage and my rental house. So that would be, the only thing I would ask would be for a barrier fence in order to just give us a little bit more privacy, because it'll still stay wide open. We should be hidden behind the building a little bit, but that's the only thing that I have. But otherwise, I do support him.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Could I have your address?
Sure, I live at 116 Pequawket Trail,
Okay.
Freedom.
Okay.
Okay, so, as I was saying, we have a public hearing where people can speak, and when we close the public hearing, then it will be a public meeting where the public can listen, but only the board members, excluding Mark, will be able to talk at that point in time, and we'll go through our process. But before we close the public hearing, I want to summarize some findings of fact, and the reason why we do this in the public hearing is so that if you find an error or something that's not there, you can speak up and say, this needs to be added, okay? So I'm just gonna summarize some of the things, and of course, board members, change wording, whatever, this is just a suggestion in order to make the process move along. Point one, the building inspector and planning board rejected the application for building permit and site plan review based on an understanding that lot 263,004 is zoned rural residential, and a plumbing business, which would be considered light industry or property maintenance services, is not permitted use for Madison's rural residential district. The rejections are based on the Madison zoning ordinance, paragraph 3.2, which defines the southern limit of the affected commercial district as the center line of Ossipee Lake Road, and paragraph 3.1, which defines rural residential as anything not being designated as the commercial, village, or Edelweiss districts. Lot 263,004 was part of several lots sold together in 2003 by the International Paper Company to the Madison Lumber Mill. Point 4, other town records contradict the Ossipee Lake Road border for the commercial district, namely the Madison tax card for the property 263,004 It identifies it as commercial industrial. The town has taxed the land as commercial property, and the town's master plan dated 2010 on page 3 of the land use section describes the commercial zones as including the entire Madison lumber mill property. Point 5, the character of the neighborhood is commercial. Point 6, based on the fact that Tamworth has no zoning districts and Ossipee's table 34.5 lists light industry as permitted use of the abutting property, lot 263004 would be an island restricted to residential use in a neighborhood where light industry is otherwise permitted and exists. Point 7, the zoning ordinance, paragraph 3.2 indicates the boundaries of the affected commercial zone in the following manner, and I quote, a parcel bounded on the south by the center line of Ossipee Lake Road, on the west by the Tamworth town line, on the north by the center line of New Hampshire Route 41, on the west by map 262 lot 003, which doesn't exist, and is the second west boundary, and a line 100 feet westerly of the center line of West Branch Brook. That's the wording there. Point 8, map 262 lot 003 no longer exists. There are two west boundaries and no east boundary, and the southern limit at the center line of Ossipee Lake Road contradicts the documents cited above. So that's a summary of the findings of fact as I've gone through this case. Do you wish to add any findings of fact or adjust the wording in those?
I have a question on
Sure,
it, Drew.
go
So,
ahead.
is this or is this not 003?
Well, it's possible that it's a typo, that it should have been map 263003,
Yeah.
because
It's just that little piece
it's just that
on
little
that
piece
side
there,
of it.
and it's a
Yeah.
typo that it perhaps should have been listed as the eastern boundary.
Yeah.
But that is definitely a possibility, but we can speculate that, but finding a fact.
It's not a fact.
Right,
That's town property.
yes, that's town property.
It's back when Central Maine Power took the dam out of Silver Lake, they gave the riparian rights to the town, which would be both sides of Branch River,
Mhm.
which would be that little piece of property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very curious.
Yeah. So the point is that in that the wording of that particular paragraph, which defines the southern boundary, there are a number of errors which make the credibility of that paragraph somewhat difficult to understand. Any other adjustments, comments to the findings
No.
of fact?
I'm fine.
Is that a good summary of the findings of fact?
Yes, sir. I was just curious of the map that Mr. Olson, am I able to?
Which map are
The
you
one that you
referring
brought
to?
up to this one. I just want to look
The
really quick
2011.
before I close off myself.
Yeah. Yeah, now, I stated in the findings of fact that the town, in fact, it was listed, you quoted it in your application, on the page from the, which is the document which is posted as the current document on the town's website. Is there a more recent, you quoted 2011, Mark?
This is the 2011. It's part of the
Yeah,
master
no,
plan, so-
that's okay, but when you referred to the town's master plan, was there,
This came out of the town master plan.
even though the wording, what's
The
the date?
wording in the ordinance,
But what is the date of that map?
it says 11.
Is that in the current master plan?
Yeah, there was that one, and then there was one that looks like somebody colored it.
Well,
So,
I'd just like to speak to that really quick, if you don't mind, sir.
yes, you may.
So what was published on the town's website is the 2010 plan, was the plan that I pulled directly from. So I can't really tell on that without my computer what it is, but the plan that I looked on, has the links on the actual website, depicts that map and for the zoning ordinance and says specifically referring to the zoning map that it will have the clear defined boundaries, which is where I don't see my
Right.
property on. So I'm not seeing that 2011,
Well,
I just went off what's on the website.
But the question we're trying to answer is not whether or not this is zoned. We have to presume that because the planning board rejected on that basis, that we are considering granting a variance
Okay.
as though that's a statement of fact. And one of the considerations we have is the inconsistency of the town's information. So we're focusing on granting a variance when we're not granting a variance. That's what, are there other things we want to add to the findings of fact? Otherwise, we can go ahead and close the public hearing and begin debate.
No, I'm good for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that's a
Okay.
good summary.
But
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Yeah.
What?
the Ossipee side of that property is quite rural residential.
Yes, but if you look at their, I copied it right out of their zoning ordinance. It is listed as rural, but if you go to their table, just a second. Table 34.2 lists property maintenance services added March 12, 2019 as permitted in the rural district. And if you go to table 34.5 of the Ossipee zoning ordinance, it lists light industry as permitted in the rural district.
Yeah, but the use on the ground is quite residential.
Well, that's not the point. The point is,
How's it zoned?
it's zoned, it's permitted. My point is that
Yeah,
if he were to do it in Ossipee, he would have a reason, he would not be summarily rejected by their planning commission because that's a permitted use. I mean, they might not grant it for other reasons, but it's a permitted use in that area. Any, otherwise, okay, then motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so at this point, our board will, so then the only people that can speak at this point are Connie and the four of us. Connie, Colleen. Okay, so let's proceed going through our 5 points of. So we consider the first 2 points, saying the variance will not be contrary to the public interest and the spirit of the ordinance will be observed. For the variance to be contrary to public interest and for it to violate the spirit of the ordinance, it must unduly and to a marked degree violate the basic objectives of the zoning ordinance. Does the variance alter the essential character of the neighborhood or threaten the health, safety, or general welfare of the public to a marked degree? And I mean, I think that we have to conclude in this case that it is in a neighborhood which is largely commercial and in fact was a part of a commercial.
Agreed.
Yes.
Okay. Colleen, are you catching this?
Yes.
No, I'm only
Just
asking
making-
because Kate and I usually, shared wording afterwards if you're
But we're gonna do a lot of sharing.
Yeah.
I'm all about sharing.
Yeah, okay, that's fine, all right. Yes, yes.
she's the sharing boss.
Okay, so we have evidence the lot, whether it's today it is commercial, we have evidence the lot was historically
Commercial.
commercial. Commercial, I think we can also say here that the abutting lots in Tamworth and Ossipee permit the kind of light industry the original building permit was applying for. So substantial justice is done because, and the condition here is any loss to the individual which is not outweighed by a gain to the public is an injustice. So we have to ask ourselves the question,
What would the public gain?
what would the public gain
If-
and what does the individual lose?
Right. And what would the public gain if the residential zoning were enforced? This property's been there for how many years?
Oh,
Zoned
well,
as
it's
it, or
been-
not
well,
zoned, but as,
Well, it's been used since 2003 as an adjacent auxiliary lot,
right,
for the Madison
lumberyard.
lumber mill, and
And
was
then
used
Hancock
apparently, and then Hancock briefly. But it was used for, industrial storage, logs and stuff like that, and a fire
How
break
did
and
that
so on
lot
and so
even
forth.
get there?
What?
I'm just trying to figure out how, it seems to me that that was one big lot at one point.
It was.
And they put a road in through it, which caused it to separate it off from the original
main
lot
lot.
that it was. When
I
you
think
put
so.
in-
Colleen, when you looked at the maps this afternoon, was it, when
I
did?
think
when-
that would have gone
Way back.
way back before 1997.
I'm sorry, the road.
I didn't look beyond 1997.
97?
But Ossipee Lake Road is on the maps that we are looking at around the turn of the,
I don't know when Ospey Lake Road went in, to tell you
Yeah.
the truth.
like it,
I'm not that old.
None of
You're
us
older
are.
than I am.
okay.
That may be.
I can't,
Well, the question we're asking is, what does the public gain by requiring?
denying
this?
his-
By
yeah.
denying his,
Nothing.
and
Buying
the
it.
answer is that since the neighborhood is largely
industrial.
industrial,
Mhm.
there's hardly any gain. I mean,
So then,
his proposed, well, what he listed in the application as a proposed building is not anything that would threaten the safety of the health of the public.
But I do recognize that behind that one piece, it is residential. Now,
Well-
it may be residential where people are conducting light industry and/or, somebody has a car mechanic business in their garage.
Define
But
what you meant by behind.
the
Soaring heights.
so yeah,
Oh,
well
in
not
Ossipee.
the property that
Yes.
the woman just spoke of.
Right,
right.
okay.
If you're looking at this
Right,
in here.
right, down here.
Down in here, right? That, while it's zoned and categorized on their tables as rural residential with permissible use of being light industry, those are houses back there. So it,
Yeah, I'm not arguing that Ossipee would want, I'm just simply saying that we are not conflicting in any marked degree
true.
with what is,
We're not creating a standard that doesn't already exist for
Exactly.
those pieces of property. That
Right.
if somebody
This
wanted
is-
to create
and this is
an
a-
auto body shop in their yard, their zoning allows it.
Well, and it's up to Ossipee to allow it or
Yeah.
not, but
Right.
the bottom line is that this property is on Ossipee Lake Road, which is populated by other light industry of various kinds, shops, restaurants, other
Other things.
including the, right across the street, what has been until recently a lumber mill. That by granting this, which is very consistent with the nature of the neighborhood, it's not inconsistent to think that, well, behind it is a area which is rural and largely residential, yet this is a narrow strip right on a road that is industrial.
But you have to assume that every commercial in area has to abut
Borders of
residential
residential.
someplace.
Someplace.
So, I mean, it's not strange that this is gonna abut residential.
Right.
The question I've got is, it's just a question in the sky. If we were to deny this gentleman access to do his light commercial, and then he decides to put 2 duplexes in, are 2 duplexes considered rural residential?
Yes, that would be allowed in more consistent with our master plan as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
Yeah, and would, you know, a multifamily housing be any more consistent with the neighborhood behind it
Yeah.
than,
I'm-
this is a multi-bay garage that's
Right,
not
so
got
you,
heavy
so
industry.
you got some trucks going back and forth every day and a few workmen, as opposed to 12 kids that were on the yard screaming.
Okay.
No, okay. Okay, we're focusing on the question, what does the public gain by
Nothing.
asking us to enforce, strictly
The zone.
speaking, what appears to be the zoning requirement?
It sounds like as we've talked about, there's a mismatch someplace, and the fact that, from my point of view, the fact that the town has been collecting taxes as if it was a commercial property.
The town believed it to be a commercial
Let's go
property,
forward
has
with that.
operated as if it was a commercial property
Okay.
for over 2 decades.
Right.
Easily 2
My-
decades.
my opinion.
If not more.
Right, so what we're saying is that the loss, he's documented a significant loss because it would require a significant change in his
Yes.
business plan.
Yes.
And
All right.
probably a significant portion of loss of his original investment.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna say this represents, the potential for a
You can't
significant,
block it.
potential for significant loss, financial loss due to the change in the business plan. In the business plan, when, the neighborhood is already used for commercial purposes. Without any complaint by the public. I don't know if we can say that, but you already use our concurrent.
I don't think you can say.
Yeah. But we can say, so,
But it also,
we can say that there is no identifiable gain to the public by requiring this property to be used residentially when nearby properties are already in commercial use. That's a fair statement.
that is a fair statement.
Okay, so the next question is, the values of the surrounding properties are not diminished. So one of the requirements is we can't, the approval of the variance can't diminish the properties. Well, generally speaking, property values are enhanced when the property is developed
Appropriate.
appropriately. And we can say that neighboring properties are already being used for light industry and the commercial purposes.
As was that piece of property.
Yeah,
That piece of
yeah.
property was already used for light industry and
Yeah,
commercial
yeah.
reasons.
This,
As adjacent to the, as it was adjacent to the lumberyard. The lumberyard was using it.
right,
Hancock.
Yeah, those guys.
yeah, let's see, Madison Lumber Mill in Hancock,
And
Madison.
So if there were going to be any impact to the value of the property, it would have already happened.
We did give them their sign and they went out of business.
No, right.
It is proper. Okay, so what I have here is generally speaking, when property value is developed appropriately.
And they took their sign with them.
Did they take the sign with them?
Oh, yeah, the sign's.
Oh, yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
gone. Oh, yeah.
You didn't notice that?
No, I
Yeah, it's been
don't.
gone.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
always look
gone.
at the lake or the pond.
Yeah, well, this is
I
this
never
is a
looked at
joke
the
for
sign.
us because that was a big deal.
That was the big, huge
They
deal.
wanted it,
Right,
they
they
wanted a
wanted
big,
this
huge
big
sign.
50
which
square
we
foot
denied.
sign, you turn them down.
Yeah, so.
So they left the town.
We drove them right out of business. They left town.
Because they couldn't have their sign.
Probably.
Goodness sake.
Okay, so what I have for this statement, okay, the values of surrounding property are not diminished because, generally speaking, when property is developed appropriately, property values go up. The neighboring properties are already being used for light industry and commercial purposes. This property was already being used by the Madison Lumber Mill and Hancock Lumber for commercial purposes. So
It's what?
any devaluation in property value due to commercial use would have already taken place. Is that a fair statement? That was what you suggested.
Yes.
Okay. Fifth, literal enforcement would result in unnecessary hardship because owing to the special conditions of the property, there is no fair and substantial relationship between the general public's purposes of the ordinance provision and the specific application to the property because, now, one might argue easily, when one looks at this corner of the map, knowing the character of the neighborhood, one has to ask the question, what the value is to the city of selecting out a small sliver of land and making it residential. The only possible argument is because it abuts, the Ossipee residential zone. But as we said, light industry may not be
Permissible
chosen for that
use.
location, but it's not a radically offensive use of the property in light of their zoning structure.
And as a matter of fact, if the town, if it were made rural residential, the town would lose revenue because it's no longer commercial. And commercial property is taxed at a higher rate than.
Well, it's
No,
not taxed
it's
at a
not
higher
higher.
rate, it's assessed at a higher
So,
rate.
okay, all right,
Yeah.
yes.
Which results in.
Which
higher
results in higher
taxes.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so that is an argument, so, but, this particular argument looks to the hardship of the individual, as opposed to, there's no fair and substantial relationship between the general public purpose of the ordinance and specific. So the unique characteristics of this property are that it has been used is that it has been used as commercial property. And would be unique in the neighborhood if it were not allowed to be used, if it were not continued to be permitted to be used for commercial. Jesus, let's see. So the public stands to lose, we'll put that in there, to lose tax dollars. What's that? Don't say that.
No, no.
Don't say that.
Yeah. None of that,
Financial is not a hardship.
yeah. No, you're right. Unique characters that has been, yeah, okay.
No,
And
but there would be a hardship on Mr. Guerin, because if we did revert back to the rural residential,
Right.
the property value will be decreased.
yeah,
But that's not a
All right.
hardship.
I think we can say that the owner would be forced to make a significant change in the business plan, which had been
Not by itself.
openly
but if
discussed
it were
with the
other
town.
things, yeah.
Um, So what I've written here is, if you like this, so, no fair and substantial relationship between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the special application of that provision to this property, because the unique characteristic of this property is that it has been used as commercial property and would be unique in the neighborhood if it were not continued to be permitted to be used for commercial uses. And the owner would be forced to make a significant change in his business plan, which had been openly discussed with the town and found support in town documentation, though information was found to be, town's documentation was found, though conflicts were found. Documentation, okay, so what do you think? Does that sound good? Owner would be forced to make significant changes in his business plan, which had been openly discussed with the town and found support in the town documentation, though conflicts were found. Can't keep using the same words.
Discrepancies
Yeah,
were
yeah.
subsequently discovered.
Yeah, that's good, those discrepancies. Okay, and the proposed use is reasonable because it fits the general character of the neighborhood and would provide a base for needed property maintenance support.
And it historically has been used as commercial property.
And has historically. As a commercial property. Okay, so what we have here is, in the first two things, we have the neighborhood variance is not contrary to the public interest and the spirit of the ordinance is observed. Because the neighborhood is commercial and the lot was historically commercial, same argument we just had, but it's true there. The abutting lots in Tamworth and Ossipee permit light industry, rest of it is the half of a sentence here, just said the abutting lots in Tamworth and Ospey permit this kind of light industry. The original building permit, the light industry which was being applied for. Okay, and then we have substantial loss. Substantial justice is done because this represents a potential for significant financial, due to the change in the business plan, this represents potential for significant financial loss to the owner due to change in the business plan when the neighborhood is already used for commercial purposes. There's no identifiable gain to the public by requiring this property be used residentially when nearby properties are in It's amazing when your brain is thinking how little you type. The values of surrounding properties are not diminished because, generally speaking, when property is developed appropriately, property values go up. The neighborhood properties are already being used for light industry and commercial purposes. This property was already being used by the Madison Lumber Mill and Hancock Lumber for commercial purposes. So any devaluation, well, actually, basically, that's the same topic, same thing. So we just combine those sentences. And general purposes by the Madison Lumber Mill and Hancock Lumber. So that any devaluation of property due to commercial use would have already taken place. Gosh. Okay, so I think literal enforcement would result in unnecessary hardship because, owing to the special conditions of the property, the unique characteristic of the property is that it has been used as commercial property and would be unique to the neighborhood if it were not continued to be permitted to be used for commercial uses. The owner would be forced to make a significant change in business plan, which has been openly discussed with the town and found support in town documentation, though discrepancies were discovered. In the assignment of the zoning, what do you call that? Zoning, lost the word. Not the zoning, just assignment of zoning.
Yeah, you can stop right there.
Yeah, period. Okay. And it's reasonable because it fits the general character of the neighborhood. It would provide a base for needed property maintenance support and has historically been used as a commercial property. So we've said that quite often, but that's true in each one of these cases. Okay, so we want to formulate a motion to grant or deny.
I'll make the motion to grant the variance, but we have conditions as well. Or we have a requested condition.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to discuss that.
Yeah, we should discuss that briefly. There was a requested condition that a fence can put conditions on.
Yes.
Whether we want to say it has to be a fence or
Screening.
Barrier.
Screening.
screening, I mean, he could plant,
Leland cypress trees.
yeah, right, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want to specify the nature of the screen, but I think we could say that grant the variance in the condition that property
Appropriate.
development takes into account the fact that you should screen it from the abutting residential base. Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we move to grant the variance, and we have to ask why, because property has because the property, we said this, is in a commercial called a zone or commercial area, and has been used in the past for commercial purposes. And requiring it to be residential would, do we want to say that?
I'm trying to think how to think the best way to say it. Requiring it to be residential would actually conflict with the.
But that's not the motion.
No, we're
that's
trying to
it's
answer
part
the
of
question
the-
because,
Okay.
yes.
Because
it
it's
would
the
conflict.
long part of the motion.
Okay.
Yeah, it would conflict with the,
Would conflict.
would conflict with
The surrounding.
yeah. Well, no, let's not say that.
No.
No. It's been used for commercial purposes. That's good enough because the
I
property.
think that's good enough.
Yeah. It's been used for.
Right, can you read it all?
Okay, let's get the conditions in there. With the condition.
With the following condition.
With the following
Zzz.
condition. That the property owner provide, well,
Visual barrier?
yeah,
Visual screening,
visual screening,
/barrier. That
just
way.
says visual screening, to separate it from the residential area behind it in Ossipee. Okay, so what we have at this one, move to grant the variance because the property is in a commercial area and has been used for commercial purposes. With the following condition that the property owner provide visual screening to separate it from the residential area behind it in Ossipee. Does that sound, Sharon?
Yep.
Okay, I'll read it one more time.
Yeah.
Move to grant the variance because the property is in a commercial area and has been used for commercial purposes. Say it's already been used. Already been used and for commercial purposes.
taxed.
And used and
Assessed.
used and assessed. Well, it's used for commercial purposes and assessed
As such.
as such. With the following condition, that the property owner provide visual screening to separate it from the residential area behind it in Ossipee.
Can we say provide and maintain that barrier?
Sure. With that, we can, yeah. Okay.
And I get, like, you don't want somebody to just put something up and then,
Yeah, in 5 years
Neglected.
it looks terrible and, well, I provided it.
right.
Okay.
That was
Don't
it.
worry, we don't have any enforcement.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I don't know how we'll enforce that,
No.
unless Bob lives
Bob
close
does
by.
it.
Yeah, Bob
Right.
lives close
Yes.
by. Okay, so, are we
So
ready?
moved.
So
I'll second it.
Okay, Sharon moved,
Rich.
Rich seconded. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Okay, so we grant this variance. I need to read you the conditions of the appeal. If anyone wishes to appeal, one must act within 30 days of the date of this notice. Day 1 is tomorrow. The necessary first step before any appeal may be taken to a higher court is to apply to the Board of Adjustment for a rehearing. The motion for rehearing must set forth all the grounds on which one bases the appeal. See New Hampshire statutes, RSA chapter 677 for details. Board members are advised to refrain from any discussion of this appeal or this case with other board members and any party to the appeal until all appeal periods have expired. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you. You're good.
So you should have a letter within 5 days, but Bob will be informed almost immediately of the variance, so
Okay.
you will be able to submit your building permit and proceed with
Site plan review.
site plan review. Now, of course, I can't guarantee that
The planning
This-
board.
that they'll do everything
This
you
cranky-
ask.
Here's my contact information. I can help
It's
you
just-
through the site plan review.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
but the point is that, we've got,
One more step forward.
Yep, I appreciate it.
well, yeah, but the point is, the town might in the future decide that this gobbledygook needs to be cleaned up, and if it is, the variance becomes irrelevant, but if the town doesn't, the variance stays
Remains with the property.
with the property in perpetuity.
Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we will proceed then with case 2603. Yeah, we'll take a very short break if you want to stand up and
You're
stretch.
Have a good night.
You were very good. I'm actually right behind the property, and I have that stone in my backyard. Are you familiar with that? There's a stone in my backyard from 1800.
So, Colleen, when you're ready, would you confirm that we've done the public notices and informing the abutters properly?
Excuse me. Can I ask? Hello. Can I
Folks.
ask you guys to? We're still trying. We have the other meeting. Thank you.
Okay, Colleen? Oh, I'm sorry, I don't
No,
mean to
I'm
rush
just
you.
trying to
Yeah, you're just checking to see
look
if,
through everything.
if anything came back.
Yeah. Okay, do you want me to read
Yeah, the notice?
the notice?
Yeah.
Case 2603, it's a variance for Michael D'Amato. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Got it right?
Agent for William Diskin, Patricia Terwilliger, Joan Daigle, and Mary D'Amato for the property located at 1113 East Shore Drive, tax map 126, lot 10, Article 5, Section 5.9, Section C of the zoning ordinance to permit construction of an 18 by 42 addition with a 16-foot peak height versus the existing 13 feet, and a 4-foot expansion to an existing 8 by 19-foot porch within the required 75-foot setback of the mean high water mark of any body of water. All abutters have been notified. We didn't receive anything back. And I think that's it.
Okay. Then, let me just, first thing I have to do is we need to raise Mark to a full voting member. And then I'm gonna ask if there's any conflict of interest, so do you have a conflict of interest in this case? Which I do not.
No.
No.
No, so you have a full 5-member board, okay, and there's no conflict of interest, so we're all set. Okay, sorry, is there a waiver request associated with this?
Yes.
Yeah, so,
Do you have the rate waiver request? I don't see it.
I didn't see it either.
yeah, it's part of the application.
Yeah.
Do you have a copy of it?
I do.
Let me look.
There it is, hearing date waiver.
That's a hearing.
No, I'm sure it's here.
Yeah, it's further into that
I
package.
didn't even see that.
This is thick paper, geez.
It's very thick paper.
Yeah, it's like
Page
24
13.
pounds
Yeah,
of paper or
24
something.
pounds.
Okay.
Yeah, and okay,
Oh.
application through by plot plan
Oh,
waiver, the
plot
plot
plan.
plan provided by, with the submitted application is substantially correct and includes setback, property line, well and septic topography. The submitted variance request and project
Oh,
is
okay.
derived based on the existing
Oh,
location of the
yeah,
house
yeah,
and the
yeah.
location of the 75 from the lake, which can be determined without the need for a traditional or technical property survey. Okay, so who did the measures?
The measurements on the proposed plan or the underlying plans?
Well, no, the underlying.
One and
You
done.
need to be sworn in.
Oh, yeah, yeah, everyone who wants to speak, let's swear you in. We need to move that up. It's hard. Do you, raise your right hand, do you swear that the testimony that you give pertaining to this case will be truthful under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so my question, the underlying, sorry for having to shuffle here. The underlying plan, I assume, was originally a certified plot plan, right? And then who did the measurements on the new?
So the
Name.
underlying plan that you have
Would you
is,
state your name, please?
my name, the record, Mike D'Amato. I have an address at 61 Edgemont Avenue in West Hartford, Connecticut.
And you are the agent?
I'm the agent.
Okay,
yes.
great.
Thank you.
The plan that you have in front of you was originally developed by David Clough in preparing for this, and as well as a required septic upgrade and replacement.
Mm-hmm.
The information that he has provided on that plan with regard to the locations of the iron pins were located in the field. A couple of years ago, we had a lot line adjustment with the neighbor, so that property line, the one that's in question, was flagged and pins were set. So he makes reference to those, and then we then re-verified that to determine the dimensions that we have placed on the plan as proposed.
Okay, and who did, so we have, well, the point is, these measurements are done by professionals. Nobody just stepped off the thing.
Correct, yes.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, so the question is, can we approve, I know, Mark, you like to be a stickler, and I'm happy.
You know what my answer is, you don't have to ask.
Right. The question to the board, though, is can we use these professionally derived measurements to make this variance determination, or do we feel we must have a
Certified
form
plot.
certified plot?
And I am fine with this. But I need-
I walked the property, the only pin that I saw out there is down at the water line. Not to say that I couldn't have missed it, but
Yeah.
the adjacent property is very close. And honestly, I'm not comfortable without a certified plot plan.
Okay.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay, so, and that's primarily because the main issue there would be the 25-foot setback for the edge of that
From-
construction.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that that's correct, is that? That's the issue. Okay, so,
Mr. Chairman, can I speak to that?
yes, you may.
So the primary purpose that we're before you, and I'm hopefully not getting ahead of things,
No,
is
that's
for
fine.
the setback to the water line, right? And
Right.
so, part of the reason why we thought that the waiver would be feasible is because that's a dimension that's much easier to determine than a property line, which obviously nobody can see. And particularly with this property, it is not perpendicular to the street. It narrows as you get to the
Right.
water line, so it's,
Right.
we're not just pulling 90-degree angles. So, we did verify those locations, and we did double and triple check it independently, even again this afternoon, to make sure that if there is concern related to the 25-foot side yard setback, though that's not part of what we're here for, recognizing that it seems like it would be close with the board. I'm a professional planner. I do this in another state, so I'm trying to convert my knowledge a little bit, but
Mhm.
something that I might think about if I were in your shoes or staffing would be that the board requests that if this were to go forward, we include a condition that the 25-foot side yard be staked prior to the commencement of the project, so that if at such time we stake that and we can't meet it, we would not go forward. But it doesn't cause us to have to essentially restart and come back to you later. So we would still demonstrate compliance, but we would sort of arrive at that assuming the project goes forward.
Yeah, right, and so effectively well, there's a couple of issues here for us. One is so the corner of the addition there just barely breaks the 75-foot.
Correct.
However, there is an existing non-conforming structure anyway.
Correct.
So we're not
Right.
becoming more
More
non-conforming.
We are not.
We are simply asking to go, okay, then the other, so are there two pieces? One is the piece on, as we're looking at this, with the lake sort of to the bottom.
Yep.
The addition is on the right-hand side, right?
Correct.
And what is that piece down at the bottom?
The piece down at the bottom, which is shown sort of in that thicker dark with the additional dimensions, is the second component of this, which is the porch.
It's an addition to
Expansion.
the existing porch.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I mean, so.
It's a 4-foot extension
4-foot extension to the existing porch.
to that existing porch.
Right.
So that, we are hoping as part of this to adjust the roof line, which currently breaks towards the water. It's essentially flat, which doesn't work if we happen to have snow in any given year, but so we want to adjust that so that it breaks the other way. But because it's wholly within the current setback, regardless of what we do with the roof line, we need the variance for the additional 4-foot projection.
Right, okay, so we're clarified that, so the question is, okay, so we know that that is inside the 75-foot thing, and the likelihood of it being inside the 50-foot range is very minimal, since the house exists and we know where that is. So then the suggestion is that we accept the waiver and make a condition, should we grant the variance, we make it a condition that the 25-foot off setback to the property line be verified.
Prior to commencement of the extension.
Prior to the commencement of the construction.
Yeah, construction.
Does that work? The question is,
The application says shall,
what's that?
the zoning application, our zoning applications say shall present a,
Well, that's true.
But it also provides for the ability to
what
grant
the
a
waiver's
waiver.
Yeah, I mean.
There's always an exception.
Typically, we have,
Potentially.
I know it drives you crazy, because the planning board, you absolutely have to have, especially for commercial stuff. We need to know whether or not.
Rich, can you give that to him?
We need to know whether or not the measurements are given are accurate enough for us to determine whether a variance can be granted, and it's actually relatively unimportant if it's 52 feet, 54 feet, 55 feet, if that varies in that range, if it's supposed to be 75, you know, if it's over 50, it meets the state requirement, and we're really just dealing with our own. The precision on, and that has been our general thing, is to deal with that level of precision. Is if the person doing the measurement is a professional, even if he's not a surveyor, I don't know. Now, on the other side of the coin, as you pointed out, we do have a potential, that 25 feet is not part of the variance request, because that meets the
That meets the
requirement.
setbacks.
Right.
Right, but it's this drawing that was included in the package. And I know it's only hand done,
Right.
but this is showing the addition encroaching over the 25 feet setback.
Yeah,
Can you just describe what drawing you're referring
yeah,
to?
that,
The hand drawing in the package?
It says plot plan on it.
Yeah, so that wasn't something that we submitted. That was one of the prior materials that may have been given to the town. So I was going to note,
This was probably part of the building.
yeah, so we did submit
Yes, this
to
was
the
with the
building
building
permit.
permit.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought someone decided to help us out, we didn't know about it. We did submit for a building permit, and aside from the small encroachment of the front corner, the materials were acceptable to the town and would have approved it, so they felt that we had provided sufficient information to demonstrate compliance. I don't know if that is helpful.
No.
No.
I'm not even sure I understood what you said.
They felt the information during the building permit
I'm
was
sorry, who
the
is
town.
they?
I think
We're the
Mr. Boyd.
town.
Mr. Boyd, we submitted for a building permit.
Okay.
And he sent us here because of the corner of the addition, right, within that 75 foot.
right.
But other than that, felt all the materials were acceptable and would have approved it. So he felt the level of information within our materials for the building permit was substantive to demonstrate compliance.
Excuse me, I could speak to that drawing.
Sure.
I can say my name, Tom
Yes.
Romano. I'm at 6 Mohawk Drive, Berlin, Connecticut.
So,
That-
so are you on a butter, or are you?
My wife's a lot older.
My
Your wife's-
father,
He's my son.
all part of the family.
Okay, great, I
He's
just
my
tried to figure.
brother-in-law.
Family
no,
and
fine.
rep at the same time.
Got you
Yeah.
covered.
Yeah. That, when you say that it doesn't meet it, the line that comes down here is drawn through, I had to do this for the shoreline permit. And that extra piece that out here is like, the material that comes out when it's
Disturbance.
Ground
disturbance.
material.
Disturbance.
I had to show that for the
Right.
shoreline permit, because you can see there's a
That's it.
space between there, that's where the,
You have to dig.
that's the addition.
Oh, I
And
see.
it-
So the solid line is the addition, the
disturbance,
dotted
not-
line
Correct,
is
not
the
the
disturbance.
dotted line is the,
Grading for the foundation.
right,
Okay.
I had to show that for the shoreline permit, so I
Right.
included that in with the building permit, so he saw that, how it would be. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, alrighty, so, okay, so, I
It does
mean, you
meet
can,
the
you can
25.
understand our,
Confusion.
we don't want you coming back in 10 years and say we need an equitable waiver. because-
Nor do we want your neighbor coming back saying.
No, no, we don't either.
We did speak to the neighbor, we provided everything, and she's comfortable, we have something from her we could show you, or you know,
Right.
that she has no concerns.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so, we're still addressing the question of the waiver. And the suggestion on the table was that we,
Use these drawings.
that we use these drawings. These are done by David Clough, who is not a surveyor, but he's definitely a professional.
Yes.
Our concern was specifically with the precision of that 25 feet, which is not part of the existing,
Waiver request, or part of the, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not part of the
Yeah.
variance.
it's not part of the variance request, but it is, shall we say, a potentially high-risk issue in construction.
Right.
So, and it would be a reason why we would say we would need a certified plot plan, because we would want that. Now, so the suggestion is, well, we make it a condition that in the process of construction that be verified.
Verified, staked, and
Verified, staked, and measured properly
prior to
prior to construction.
commencement of construction.
And the argument for not requiring a certified plot plan is that we know that the 75-foot distance to the shoreline is violated
Already.
already. The precision on that is actually secondary to us. We know that it's violated. We need to grant the variance.
And the
and whether
construction
it's-
they're doing is not going to more violate
No.
that. It's not gonna increase the violation.
Right, in no, yeah, right, so it would seem that with respect to the construction and the lakeshore variation, how do they, what's the exact wording of the variance request? How is that?
Do you want me to read from the notice?
Yeah, let's do that, read the notice.
It's a variance from Article 5, Section 5.9C of the zoning ordinance to permit construction of an 18 by 42 addition with a 16-foot peak height versus the existing 13, and a 4-foot expansion to an existing 8-foot by 19-foot porch within the required 75-foot setback from the mean high water mark of any body of water.
Okay, and also this is another one of these 1.3B requests, right? Which says, okay, sorry for having to shuffle back and forth here. Any structure existing at the time of the original passage does not conform. Okay. Okay, so, let me get my thing here again.
Magnifying glass should be.
I know, I took my phone and,
Oh, yeah, my phone could do it, couldn't it?
yeah, and
Yeah, quite my phone.
as if you're gonna take a picture
Yeah,
and
yeah,
zoom out.
yeah. Well, I've got a magnifier on my
I have bigger copies I'm happy to hand out.
Yeah,
phone.
no,
That's okay.
so.
I have a 11 by 17 that are enlarged, and then I have a 24 by 36. Whatever,
Okay, yeah, so
whatever
you're-
you prefer.
These are fine.
the height is not an issue except that it's a change, is that correct? 16 feet height is.
It's different than the 13-foot existing, but the only requirement is you can't exceed 36 feet.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, so that's no.
so it's not, and it should not.
Sorry, I
be-
didn't mean to approach you. I just,
That's
Oh,
okay.
well, that's fine.
these are just blown up, but I have the larger ones.
No, it's fine.
If you feel like
No, that does
blocking
not.
us from your view by holding them
Okay,
up
so
on
we're
sales.
trying to answer the question, we need to decide on this. Do we accept the waiver request? And in the implication in accepting the waiver request, we will make a condition, because we're concerned about what might be an encroachment of a
Existing
dimension
boundary lines.
that isn't part of an existing variance request, because they're not planning on breaking it, but we see.
But we know, historically.
Yeah, okay.
There are instances where that happens.
Okay, so,
Especially with overhangs.
okay, so let's ask the question. Accept the variance, accept the waiver request. So let me formulate the motion. We accept the waiver request, and if we grant the variance, we will make a condition that the 25-foot setback to the side be measured and staked before construction. Does that
Yes.
seem reasonable?
Yep.
You get that, Colleen?
Yep.
Okay,
So moved?
all right.
Seconded.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
We
Mark?
know Mark's opposed.
Yeah, Mark's always, that's fine.
He's
Did you
allowed
approve-
to.
Did you deny
I-
or approve?
No, I denied.
Denied, okay.
So we have a waiver request, okay. Regional impact, you think there's any regional impact?
No.
No.
I don't think so either. Okay, so you're familiar with the rules of procedure, I think, so we can simply, now, go ahead and, it's a little confused because we've been discussing all these details without actually having heard the presentation of the case. So now, go ahead and present your case, and we will not need to discuss the 25-foot setback. We'll come back to that.
So if it's okay with you, I'm gonna start at a high level and touch on the important points, and then we can dig in.
Yes,
My
go
assumption
ahead.
is, like the last one, you are at least somewhat up to speed on what we submitted.
Yes.
Kind of as we discussed, there's two components to this. One is the 18 by 42 addition off the side of the house, which results in the increased roof height. It is not a two-story addition, but the existing roof line on the home, when it was built many years ago, is quite flat.
Can I stop you?
Yeah.
The roof line being
okay.
different is not an issue, like at
Well,
all. You don't even have to
okay,
address
yep.
it. You can save yourself the time.
Okay.
Because as
All right.
long as it's under 36 feet, it's
Yeah,
not an
it is
issue.
well under 36
Yes.
feet, no worries.
Then
Okay.
it's not an issue.
We're short.
So the other piece to this is the expansion of the existing porch. And so the existing structure is entirely within, in some form or another, the current 75-foot setback. The house, if you're facing from the water, does not sit parallel to the water line. So the opposite side of the property, where the addition is not proposed, is substantially closer to the water, as you'll see from the plan. So this is the result of several years of agonizing over plans and how to make this work. This is not the first or second, this is not Plan A, nor is it Plan B. We had originally intended and hoped to be able to just go up. That would result in obviously less disturbance, create more square footage. That would still result in a variance, again, because of the existing structure, but the current way the house was constructed, that's not really feasible. It was originally a little summer cottage that my grandfather built and was not intended for Wi-Fi and second floors and all the things that we have in homes now. Also, as you'll see on the plot plan, I can just kind of orient you. Again, if we're looking at it with the lake sort of plan down, immediately off the back right corner behind the addition is the septic tank and system. So we really cannot slide this back any further. And then, as you'll also see from the topography on the plot plan, there's a substantial grade change from sort of the upper left-hand corner of the lot to the lower right-hand corner of the lot. We start at an elevation of about 87 and we get up to about 107. So we're at a 20-foot grade change as you go sort of away from the water. So if we were to slide this back and somehow figure out a way to deal with the septic location, we then start running into the topography as the lot moves up in elevation towards the driveway. The brown lines, the solid brown lines that you'll see that run perpendicular to the contours from the road towards the house is an existing retaining wall. So that is holding back the sort of the rest of that slope that exists on the property. So you'll see we have about a 7 or 8 foot grade change just from the back corner of the house towards that back piece. So that's how we get into the house. That's where the driveway is. Again, even if we were going to try to make something work there between the septic system, the existing well, and the topography there, that's where our service comes in. So we have a pole that comes off the road that then splits the service to our house and the neighbor's house. And then we have another pole that feeds our property. So it's not really a feasible location there without doing a substantial amount of earthwork and excavation, if we could even get down that far. And again, we have the well. As I alluded to, the opposite side of the property, which looks to be larger, it's certainly further away from that property line, is closer to the water. So it would result in a greater increase. What I'm trying to get at here is,
Yeah.
That's the
this
only
is
place to put it.
this is the smallest, it is the smallest variance or the smallest intrusion into
Right,
the
into
requirements that we could come up with.
Right.
So that probably leads us to the question that's in your mind and has been, why don't you just move that the little pinky of that addition out of the 75 foot, and then you don't need to come to us at all. So this is really the result of a reconfiguration of some of the existing space. This is not an addition that's going to result in more bedrooms, but a reconfiguration and sort of a net plus one within the house now. These bedrooms are of a size that some can't fit double beds. You open doors into beds,
Yeah.
So we're trying to make the house more livable, not seeking to add just 3 new bedrooms. So the way that we will access that addition and to try to basically line everything up with the current construction of the house and the way that they're gonna tie into the existing house, we really can't just line it up there without, again, having to reconfigure the whole current configuration of the house, which presents some challenges based upon where the stairway location is to the basement, where the mechanicals are, and all those things.
So if I
Yeah,
just to summarize that, what you're saying is that you couldn't just take that rectangle and move it the 1/4 inch on this piece of paper so that the front wall of the house is consistent and it sticks out further in the back because of all these internal things like stairwells and doorways, et cetera,
correct.
that wall configuration is necessary for the internal design of the house in order to create passageways, et cetera, et cetera.
And we would basically touch the septic. And so from a constructability standpoint, we would not be able to get the addition in there without these folks having to operate on top of the septic system.
Right, and that's an existing.
We were
Excuse me?
we
Yeah.
were lucky enough to find out that the septic system needed to be replaced as part of this, so that was a bonus for us. So that plan has been approved.
That's a bonus, huh?
It's a shitty system.
It will be, it was and will remain obviously compliant and sufficient, but this is gonna have to be a pump system, again, because of the elevation. And
Right.
so to start figuring out how to unwrap all of that and have this addition essentially touching the septic tank as it's shown now, it's not great to try to figure out how to get
I
that machinery in
understand
there.
you can't have your septic tank sitting contiguous with your exterior wall, but the
And you also
septic.
don't want heavy equipment over the top of it.
Right.
No,
Prefer not.
no, I mean, it's a lot of
I'm
kinds
still
of
trying to
issues.
coordinate.
But the septic tank that's shown here is the new one, or?
Yeah, so that is the plan that was submitted and has been approved, so that it's the
And
code
where's the
compliant.
old one?
Same place.
Oh, okay, so you're basically,
There's a slight deviation in how it is connected, but the trenches are in a different location.
yeah, that's okay, but basically what you're
Yes.
doing is you're collapsing the old tank, taking it out, putting a new one in. I don't know what was there
It's not
before.
gonna be right on top, it's gonna be near it. The old tank is a little bit farther up.
Yeah,
If the old tank were there, we might have a little more room, but the way that it has to go now because of the pump system, it just isn't.
We don't have a pump system now, so we're gonna have to put one in.
yeah. Okay, and then the leach field is under the driveway, is that?
Correct. The driveway is not paved.
Yeah.
And so that's
where the
where it
curb
has
is.
been. It may project a little bit further towards the road, so it's not wholly within that area.
Yeah.
And we may look at shifting some of that around, but I'm showing the current extent of the driveway, which is just essentially sand.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so, I mean, the septic tank's beyond our purview anyway, but, so basically what we're talking about is you're extending the porch to 4 feet, which
Mhm.
gets it closer to the lake, but it's still not more non-conforming than the existing house. And you're expanding the right side of the house, looking at the map. It will encroach to 75 feet, but it's still
Minuscule.
less non-conforming than the existing structure. And so you're asking
Correct.
for a variance for those two things.
Correct.
And, okay, Now, even Sharon dismissed the height thing, I'm just curious why you mentioned the height thing. Is that because of our statement about volume, et cetera, and no changes, or?
That was something that was incorporated as part of our discussions with the town originally,
Uh-huh.
because we are expanding the height beyond the current roof line, and as part of the way that the peak of the roof will be for the proposed addition, because it exceeds, they told us that was part of what we needed to request.
Maybe for planning, not for us.
Well, hang on a second, let's clarify that. Mark, you are the author of those new
1.3B.
inscrutable changes to 1.3B. Can you explain how?
I don't remember anything, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I know
but-
nothing.
Oh, no, you're a member of this board now.
Yeah.
You're going to have to, or I'm going to come over there and.
1.3B, are you,
Give me a
remember,
switch.
you,
For non-conforming buildings?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we were reading it again before we left, and we're a little bit uncertain as to why. My assumption, we were trying to understand the interpretation, and I think that at the time, it may have been based upon the fact of not knowing exactly how the addition location was gonna shake out, and the interpretation that was given to us was if we were maintaining the existing roof line, we would not need a variance. But because we are expanding by 3 feet, so the contents of the legal notice are, that's what I put in my application, because in my read of the
Right, I
information we got
understand.
back, that was part of what we had to request. We thought it made sense to include all of it, just in case.
But
was just in
1.3B talks about things that were non-conforming in 1987.
Right.
But the roof was not non-conforming in 1987. The roof was totally conforming in 1987. It's the position of the house. They're not
But-
making the roof more non-conforming.
What it did is it did in a regulatory way allow you to expand some within the setback.
Yes,
And we, because of the difficulty of interpreting what that expansion could be, we took that regulatory expansion out and said, well, if you need a variance, you need a variance.
All right.
Okay, but just to get back, I think Sharon is correct in saying legally established structures which do not conform. And this is a legally established structure that does conform with respect to height.
Right.
Okay, so then the height is no longer an issue, even though it's 3 feet higher.
It's
The
still
point was to
conforming.
prevent.
Still conforms.
It still conforms, yeah. The
Right.
point was to prevent an expansion of the height.
Which would take you outside conforming.
Yeah, right, okay, so.
Now,
we're-
so you can
so-
add like a whole nother story.
Right.
Right.
And then you'd be above the 36 feet, and then you would have an issue.
Right, so, but we're fine as far as the height is concerned, so now there's no problem that it was part of the notice, but I just,
Right, yeah,
we,
yeah.
we don't need to address that.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay, so let's continue on. So we basically have two dimensions we need to address, and they respect the closest part of the porch expansion, which is not inside the 50-foot, but it is inside the 75-foot. And it is not more non-conforming in the existing structure. And the other piece is the extension of the house, which is not inside the 50-foot. It is inside the 75-foot, and it is not more non-conforming than any other piece, right? That basically summarizes it, right? Okay?
Yep.
Okay.
You're gonna have fun writing this one up.
Oh, yeah, so does anybody have any other questions regarding this thing? Mark? Rich?
I do not.
It is within.
Doug?
I'm fine.
Sharon?
Yeah. I'm good.
Okay, well then let's summarize some of our, I
Facts.
think, findings of fact. Do either of you wish to say anything else? Any of you?
I do not.
Okay. Yeah, okay, fine. Okay. Okay, so the existing roof line is conforming. Okay?
Yes.
Just say that. Two.
Right off the bat.
Right off the bat, right. Two, the second thing is the, no portion of the new constructions is less non-conforming.
No, makes, no portion makes the building more non-conforming.
Okay, no portion of the new construction makes
The
the building
More.
more non-conforming.
more non-conforming.
Trying to say is not less.
Yeah, I
Like a
will
double
not,
negative.
more
We
non-conforming.
Will not
Negative.
increase the non-conformity.
Right, more
No, it's a negative
non-conforming
positive.
than the existing structure. 3, the porch extension does not encroach the 50-foot state setback,
I didn't see it the first time.
Yes.
Yeah, we have this.
but is within
75.
the town's 75-foot setback, which requires a variance. 4,
Wait a minute.
what? Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so what do I want to call that, other piece, the,
What other piece?
well, we just talked about the porch extension, that's clear.
Right.
So how do we refer to the other piece?
The house
The
extension.
The
addition.
house,
The,
the house
okay,
addition.
the house addition, yeah, the house addition.
That big rectangle.
Does not encroach the 50-foot state setback, but does encroach the town's
75.
75-foot setback. Shall we say by how many feet in round figures?
I don't know that we know specifically.
No.
No,
I don't think
know.
there's a
That's-
measurement
Yeah,
there
look at
that
that
tells
back-
us.
back and forth.
I mean, we can estimate.
Well, okay, well, we know it's less than the 75.
Yeah, we know.
And that's good enough, yeah. Okay, 5, we can say there is risk that the 25-foot setback from the, what do you call that? Is that the, where's the north?
We
on
don't have
this?
any north-souths on there.
There should be one at the bottom, on the full size.
It's the west side.
Okay, which lot is this?
Or it could be right.
It is lot right.
Is it
It
number 10?
would be lot 12,
12?
12,
12.
because they're number 10.
okay.
Oh, I thought you talked about their
Oh, no,
lot.
no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at this backwards. It would be 9.
That's Pendergast land.
No, which lot is it on this map? The number?
It's
10, it's 10.
They are
10.
10.
That's what I
They are 10, okay.
So the
Right.
lot line that you're looking at between them and the neighbor with the 25 feet is lot number 9.
No.
So that would be the west.
Yes.
Yes,
West
the
side,
west,
west
okay,
side.
so there is risk that the 25-foot setback from the west property line against lot 9 could be encroached since the structure is intended to be built just outside of 25. You want to put that as a finding of fact, so we have a justification for the condition at the end.
So would you say since the structure is intended to be constructed within?
Yeah, well, yeah, just outside the center.
Be just at that 25.
Okay, just at the 25, yeah, let's say,
Okay.
just at the 25. Foot setback. Okay, so are there other findings of fact that are important here? I don't think the septic tank issue comes into play
No.
for us.
Nope.
Do we need to say something about the fact that it's an existing non-conforming structure?
I think we should.
Yes.
I think it helps. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, so 6, the house,
Well, I think you should move that up to the top. though.
yeah, we should make it number 1.
Number 1.
Make it number 1. When was the house built?
1960.
1960. Okay, the house was built in 1960 and is therefore a pre-existing non-conforming structure protected by, what is the article number? 1.2, 1.1, no.
1.3.
1.3A.
Existing non-conforming uses.
Yeah.
1.3A.
1.3A, yeah, 1.3AB, 1.3B. Okay, so then we have 6 findings of fact. Is there anything else you think we should add in there?
I
Before
think
we
you've covered the important ones.
cover the important points? Mark, see anything else?
I think that's it.
Sharon, Doug?
No.
Okay. We have a motion to close the public hearing then?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, before we vote, is there anything else you need to say?
No.
We're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so public hearing is closed. We will now discuss the 5 conditions of variance. Let me pull up my blank sheet here. Okay, so the spirit of the ordinance will be observed and the variance will not be contrary to public interest. For the variance to be contrary to public interest and for it to violate the spirit of the ordinance, it must unduly and to a marked degree violate the basic objectives of the zoning ordinance. To determine this, does the variance alter the essential character of the neighborhood or threaten the health, safety, or general welfare of the public? I think in light of the nature of this, I think we can say the house is a pre-existing, non-conforming structure. The additions, how do we say that? Will not make the structure more non-conforming. Conforming. The neighborhood, the house is similar.
Consistent.
Is consistent, yeah. Consistent with the,
With other existing
yeah,
homes.
yeah, with, house is consistent with other properties, which are all small and often require, no, and often do not meet the existing setback requirements.
So that's a current,
Was that,
instead of existing, current setback requirements.
all right. Okay, so what I've said so far is the house is pre-existing non-conforming structure. The additions will not make the structure more non-conforming. The house is consistent with other properties which are small and often do not meet the current setback requirements. The additions do not pose any health or safety risks to the public. Substantial justice is done because any loss to the individual which is not outweighed by gain to the public is an injustice. So the additions will enhance the ability of the owners to use the home, use the house without becoming more non-conforming. Values of properties, surrounding properties will not diminish because improvements to property, to structures consistent with the neighborhood,
Enhance the property value.
with the neighborhood. Enhance property values. Literal enforcement would result in unnecessary hardship because owing to the special conditions of the property, there's no fair and substantial relationship between the double general public purpose of the ordinance and the proposed use is reasonable. So if we don't grant the variance, hardship is always the hardest one to establish.
Well, if
But-
you don't grant the variance, there's really nowhere else on the property due to the nature of the
Yes,
property,
that's true.
with the retaining wall and the septic and everything else.
Okay,
There's nowhere else for them to go.
Okay, due to the, what do we call it, incline or
Features.
due to the, due to the
Topographical
Unique
features.
physical property.
topographic
Features.
of the property, which include an incline. And there is no
Feasible alternative.
there is no feasible alternative
Position.
Expansion options.
no feasible alternative expansion option. That's good. Thank you, Sharon.
They wrote it for us, actually.
Yes, they did, yeah.
I'm using their words.
Right. And the proposed use is a reasonable one because it will enhance the ability of the property owners to enjoy the vacation home without proposing on
Without significant impact to
without,
surrounding
yeah,
properties.
without significant impact. Properties. Okay, that's pretty good. Move to
Approve.
grant.
Grant. I would say
Grant the
approve.
variance.
Variance.
Okay, we need to, because the,
Can go back to the specific topographical features.
yeah, you need,
prohibit
you need
unique feature.
topographical features severely limit the ability not the ability, the opportunity to expand the property and the proposed changes do not make the home more non-conforming.
Period.
Period,
I'm thinking.
with the condition,
Oh, right, with the condition.
with the following condition. The following condition, construction
Not
may not
commence.
until the west
West.
property line is staked out and the corners of the proposed addition are staked
And verified.
and verified to be,
More than 25.
yeah. Yeah. Feet
From the west boundary.
from the west boundary line. Okay, so the way,
I would just ask that we change the
Yeah.
word corner to extents.
okay, okay, yeah, corner, just, and the extent of the,
Because the corner could mean the foundation, the extents include
yeah,
the overhang.
exactly, yeah, the extent. Okay, so what we have now is move to grant the variance because unique topographical features severely limit the opportunity to expand the property and the proposed changes do not make the home more non-conforming. With the following condition, construction may not commence until the west property line is staked out and the extent of the proposed addition is and let's just take out that first is staked. The west property line and the extent of the proposed addition are staked out and verified and more than 25 feet from and the
To be verified to be more than 25.
to be more than 25 feet from the boundary line. Does that sentence, construction may not commence till the west property line and the extent of the proposed addition are staked out and verified to be more than 25 feet from the west boundary line. Is that clear?
I think so. You okay, Sharon?
Me, yeah, I got a neck cramp.
Oh. That's what happens if you take a cruise.
Yes.
Trying to tell us that we're a pain in the neck?
Okay, any further discussion?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So moved?
Seconded.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, so we grant this variance with the condition as stated, and now I just need to read you the conditions of any potential appeal. If one wishes to appeal, one must act within 30 days of the date on this notice, day one being tomorrow. The necessary first step before any appeal may be taken to a higher court is to apply to the Board of Adjustment for a rehearing. The motion for rehearing must set forth all the grounds on which one will base the appeal. See New Hampshire statutes, RSA Chapter 677 for details. Board members are advised to refrain from any discussion of the appeal with other board members and all parties to the appeal until all appeal periods have expired. Thank you.
Thank you very much, we appreciate your time.
Thank you. And I appreciate your like 25-pound paper.
Yeah.
No worries, the least we could do. If I knew that's all it took, it would have saved me hours of agonizing over what the paper contained. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Yes,
Have a
good
great
evening,
night.
everyone. Okay, so we have just one or two small administrative items to take care of.
Yeah, and I know we have to take care of the minutes,
Yes.
but I don't think we can, because I think there's missing, like the whole last page.
Yeah, right. That's what I feel I put you to.
Yeah,
For what minutes, the February
the
one?
February minutes.
Go to page 5.
On the top third of the paper, it says motion by Schilling. It goes through that, then Drew closes case 2506. And then it immediately goes into discussion, Olson reiterated, and starts talking about case 2601. None of that makes sense. There's a whole
Yeah, something's
piece
gone
But
missing.
see, you close 2506 and then you immediately close 2601.
Right,
Yeah.
it's
No
all
details in
missing.
there.
Yeah, so I'm
So
not-
just put that off till the next meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah, we will. And then, yeah, we'll put off the next meeting.
but in the meantime, there is, I did have.
Well, we
two-
can take, yeah, we might as well take those couple of other things that are existing. Okay, so, go ahead.
In the attendance line, it says Drew Gentile, comma, Doug McAllister, chairman.
Oh, you've been elevated.
Whoa!
Just move Doug to the end, because then it says at the end, Rich Ventura and it just
Oh,
ends.
yes. There
So
we
it
go.
should, Doug McAllister will fit there.
No, it says, and excused, Mark Olson.
Just move Doug to the end.
Well, never mind.
Why don't-
That's where I belong.
Can I make a suggestion? We were going to add that missing page to the minutes. Can we do the whole
Let's not do it.
set of
Just do the
minutes
wall thing at the
together
same
instead
time.
of
All at one
piecemeal?
time?
All right, that's fine. We'll just
Okay.
keep these in
Oh,
our
I was gonna
notes
say-
and bring them back.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
I only had one other. I'm usually the person who has the most changes.
Well, that's
Well,
good.
that's great.
Then we
Was
just
your
have-
other, was your other one Olson stated?
Yes,
Okay.
She is our official nitpicker.
Well, actually,
I am the
there-
official
there-
nitpicker.
We'll
Well,
do
maybe
what,
we need-
we'll
that's
do what
valuable.
Colleen suggested, but there is another one, because when we talked about elevation of the alternates and stated that the application has provided a certified plot plan, and then we go ahead and discuss, the
that he didn't have a
waiver.
certified plot plan.
Yeah, exactly, so something's gone wrong there, so
Yeah.
what I'm guessing is that somehow or another, the AI version of these minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
when she did the voice recognition piece.
I don't think she was doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
She
Well-
had to do it when her wrist was all screwed up.
Well, realistically
And
speaking, we can honestly cut Kate some slack on this.
Oh, no,
because
yeah.
There was 1,000 things going on at that last minute, so, but yes, we'll need to
Alright, yeah.
redo these. Okay, so we'll do the minutes next time. The other administrative item that we definitely have to do tonight, since we missed last month, is we need to elect officers
Oh,
of the board. Mark cannot, so that leaves the other four. Sharon, are you willing to continue to chair?
to vice chair? Absolutely.
Doug, do you
If
wish,
you'll have me.
do you wish to run for one of the
I
offices?
will nominate you to be chair.
Okay, but you didn't answer the question, do you?
You're right, I do. No, I do not wish.
Okay, do you wish to be one of the officers?
I do not.
Okay, and you can't be,
Right.
however, you can vote in the election, since there are only 5 of us here. So then, I would just move that we elect Sharon vice chairman and me chairman, and That settles it for this year.
Second.
Second.
Okay,
All in favor?
Aye. Any
Unanimous.
opposed?
Nope.
Okay, so we have verified our officers for this coming year. I would like to say, for your development, in the next meeting or two, I'd like you to preside over one or two of the cases. Okay, so as we get them,
Yeah.
then there's not much to say, you're quite competent, but if you want a little bit of coaching to see how I muddle through it, I'd be
Yeah.
happy to show you how to muddle through this.
Okay.
Okay, is there anything else that we need to,
Discuss. No?
This is, this evening is evening one of the 36 evenings I've committed to.
Of 3 years worth of
Oh, yeah,
meetings.
I thought I was gonna get one and they signed me up for
For
three.
3.
You know how old I'm gonna be in 3 years?
2.
3 years older than
3
you
years
are
older
now.
than you are now, yeah.
2 old.
okay, good.
Move to
All right.
adjourn.
Colleen, is there anything that you have to get from us?
You meet the third Wednesday.
Mhm.
Right, so it will be, May 20th.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah, May 20th,
It's on there, it says it on there.
right.
So today I only had a chance to kind of figure out where everything was,
Yeah,
which haven't been completely successful in that,
Yeah.
but
You
we have
didn't have
tomorrow.
a chance to find it where
I'm
anything
happy,
was.
We
like,
have
if you
tomorrow.
need me to stop in and spend some time with you or anything, I'm more than
Yeah.
happy to come
I
do
know
that.
how to do the job. It's
Right.
just
Yeah.
where everything
Thing
is,
yeah, I'm not
like
sure.
on the 2 computers
Oh,
and
yeah, that part I won't know.
that, so.
Yeah, we won't know that.
I did put a call into Kate, or I texted her and I asked her if she had a chance, if she could just buzz me. I had a couple
I'm
of
sure,
questions.
I'm sure she'd be very happy to help you
Yeah.
with that, so.
Um,
Kate didn't have, she didn't have any issues with the job per se. It's just that
yeah,
everything
Yeah.
just was overwhelming. So, but no, she won't have any problem giving you a hand with that.
yeah. Well, other than that, I'm all
Okay.
set.
Well, let me say thank you for being willing to step in
Yes.
again.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you
You're
so
very
much.
welcome.
Yeah, and
Glad to have you back.
I think I'm just trying, I was gonna say, a couple of us remember
Yeah.
working with you before, and
Yeah.
we're delighted you're back, so.
I was here for 5 good years.
Yeah.
5 years ago, I was here for 5 years.
Uh,
Tomorrow at lunchtime, I don't know if anybody goes to those OEP.
I signed up
new
for it.
ones.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Those are good, so
Yes.
there's one tomorrow lunchtime.
The, have
So-
you gone to them at all, or done them? Do you know about them?
Oh,
OEP.
It's
don't-
not
O-
OEP.
Office of Energy and Planning, well, it was,
It's something else now.
yeah, but they have Zoom classes.
at lunchtime, once a
Um,
month on Thursdays.
Yeah, so tomorrow's
You know what,
is-
I'll send it to
it's-
you, Sharon.
It's really
Okay.
geared for me, it's congratulations, you're now on the board, and it's,
Yeah.
It's been
What-
a year.
well, not
but-
quite.
No, no.
I mean, but there,
Which, by the way,
you always
you
learn
never put me in the
something.
town report.
And you learn the changes
I
too.
realize that, I
Yeah,
forgot
yeah,
that,
yeah,
so
yeah.
after I submitted
It's,
that.
it's very valuable.
Got Rich.
Okay.
It's
I
not a
hope he
waste of
doesn't
time at
notice.
all.
I noticed.
Okay. Zoom classes the 3rd Thursday of
Are they
every
not,
month.
are they always the 3rd Thursday?
I'm not 100% sure.
Not sure.
I don't know
Okay.
if they are.
They're
but
on Thursdays,
There's one
though.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's one.
And you can sign up to get
To get the
the
notification.
Yes.
notifications. I don't know if it,
Kate,
I still get
remember
them.
Kate, I think, was forwarding
did.
them.
That's
wasn't
where I
she?
got
Kate
it.
forwarded
Yeah.
them, yeah, so you probably have one in your email and you can just sign up.
I still get them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have to unsubscribe if you don't want.
Unsubscribe. I never unsubscribed.
Haven't done that.
I haven't got it.
Okay.
Not like your credit card when that goes bad. Everybody unsubscribes you.
Make a motion to adjourn
I
this
already did
meeting?
that.
Oh, you already did that? I seconded it then?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're
Next
done.
meeting is